warm welcome to all of you in this lecture on thermoforming. As some of you are aware that we are discussing in this particular module the processing of plastics. Our focus primarily is to discuss that what are the various processing techniques or most commonly used processing techniques which are used for processing of plastics. Let us just have a review of what we have covered in our previous discussions or previous lectures in this particular module on processing of plastics. We have started our discussion with a brief revision of what basically the plastics are. We have seen what are thermosets. We have also seen what are thermoplastics, the basic characteristics of thermosets and thermoplastics, and the application areas of thermosets and thermoplastics. We have also tried to review some of the mechanical properties of the polymers, and we have also seen that what are the various types of structures in which the polymers usually exist. Then we have focused our attention on the processing techniques which are used for processing of plastics. If you remember, we have seen that what is a casting process specifically in context of plastics, and we have seen what are the advantages, limitations and applications of casting process are. Thereafter, we have focused our attention on some other techniques such as we have seen transfer molding, we have seen compression molding, we have seen extrusion of plastics, and we have seen the injection molding of plastics. In our previous lecture, if you remember, we have seen the basic details about the injection molding process, and for all these processes our focus primarily has been to understand that what is the basics of the process, how the process actually takes place, what are the raw materials that go into the process, and finally how these raw materials are converted into the final product, how the shape is given to the final product, and how the final product is ejected out of the mold if a mold is used for converting the raw material into the final product. In our previous lecture, our focus was on injection molding, and today we are going to discuss another important process which is used for processing of plastics, that is thermoforming. And thermoforming can also be done in a number of ways. Basically, there are some process variants which are available for thermoforming that we will try to understand with the help of diagram. But before going into the details of the thermoforming process, as I have just revised what we have already covered in this particular module of processing of plastics, I would just like to again emphasize that there are three important things which are usually happening in most of the processing techniques for plastics. If you remember that heating is one of the catchwords in which the plastic raw material is heated. The raw material may be available, as in the previous lecture we have seen, in the form of pellets or powder. So we have a raw material which is available to us, and this raw material is heated. So the first catchword is heating. After that, once it has heated or it has melted, the raw material, that is a plastic in this particular case, is given the desired shape. So that particular thing or that particular stage we can call as the forming stage, in which we are forming the shape of the final product that we are going to make or which is our design requirement. So the first stage is the heating stage, the second stage is the forming stage, and in forming we are taking the raw material which is in the molten stage in most of the cases and giving it a particular shape. After forming, the product is allowed to cool for a substantial period of time depending upon the product cycle or the processing cycle. Cooling is an important stage, and the last stage is the ejection of the final product from the equipment. Now equipment can be mold or the die half, or it can be any other equipment where the forming has taken place. So basically there are three important stages, which again I am revising because these are the stages which have taken place in most of the processes which we have already covered. And again I want to emphasize the processes that we have already covered. We have seen casting, we have seen transfer molding, we have seen compression molding, we have seen injection molding, as well as we have seen extrusion of plastics. So today our focus is on thermoforming. So we will try to understand the thermoforming process with the help of a few diagrams. But one important point that is quite clear from the name itself, if you look at the name of the process, thermo and forming. So basically it gives a clear representation of the basic processing stages involved in converting a plastic raw material into a final product. Now thermoforming, thermo maybe just as a layman I can say thermo something related to heat, and forming as a layman we can say changing the shape or forming into a particular shape. So basically what is happening, heating and forming. So basically we are going to heat the raw material and deform the shape of the raw material according to the final design requirement or according to the application for which the product is being developed. So basically here we will have two important stages in the process, that is thermoforming, which means heating and deforming. So we would heat the raw material and it would be deformed into the final product. So what would be the type of raw material and how it would be deformed, and what are the important process parameters that would be taken into account, that we are going to discuss in the subsequent slides. So let's, with this particular introduction, let's start our discussion on the process of thermoforming of plastics. Now thermoforming is a plastic processing technique in which the thermoplastic sheets are formed with the application of heat and pressure inside a mold. So basically there are two important process variables here, that is the heat and the pressure, and the whole process is taking place inside the mold. So thermoforming is a plastic processing technique in which the thermoplastic sheets are formed. So what is the type of the raw material here? The raw material is in the form of a sheet. In case of injection molding, if you remember, the raw material was in the form of the powder or the pellet, but in thermoforming the raw material is in the form of a sheet. So thermoforming is a plastic processing technique in which the thermoplastic sheets are formed with the application of heat and pressure inside the mold. So we are going to manipulate the heating mechanism and we are going to manipulate the pressure application in order to deform a heated sheet into the desired product. So the forming is going to take place inside the mold, and the mold would conform to the shape of the final product or would conform to the details of the final product that we want to produce or that we want to process. So we have different variants of the thermoforming process, and we can say different types of thermoforming processes can be vacuum forming, in which a vacuum is used to deform the shape. We can have pressure forming and we can have matched die forming. So we would be seeing with the help of diagram that what are these forming techniques. But prior to that, from the name itself we should be able to get an idea that in this particular process we are going to change the shape of the sheet into the desired shape with the help of heat and pressure. Now let us first see the first process variant, that is the vacuum forming process. The vacuum pressure is used to form the heated thermoplastic sheet into the desired shape. So the desired shape would conform to the shape of the mold, but here the deformation would be activated by or would be achieved by the vacuum pressure. So the vacuum pressure is used to form the heated thermoplastic sheet into the desired shape. Thermoplastic sheet is placed on the mold surface and fixed with the help of a clamping unit. So we will try to understand this with the help of a diagram, and the sheet is heated until it softens, and thereafter vacuum needs to be applied quickly. So, first the sheet is heated and then a vacuum is applied to deform the sheet according to the desired shape. So, let us try to understand this with the help of a diagram. So, on your screen you can see so these are the, we can say, heater or the heating elements, and we have the heat which is going to heat the plastic sheet. Now, this is the plastic sheet on your screen. This is the plastic sheet which is getting heated because of the heat which is being supplied by the heater, and then we need to clamp this sheet so that we are able to deform it according to the desired forming or the mold dimensions. So, this is, we can say, the clamp, or we can have clamps on both the sides. So, first important point in case of thermoforming is that we need to have a heating arrangement which is there on your screen. We need to have a heating arrangement, and this heat is going to heat this raw material. So, the raw material or the sheet that we are going to deform, that is the raw material in this particular case is in the form of a sheet, and this particular sheet has to be clamped properly. So, we have the clamps here. Now, this is the first arrangement, that is heating, that is coming from the word thermoforming, thermo. So, first stage is the heating stage. Second stage is the deforming stage, in which this particular sheet has to be deformed into the desired dimensions. So, the desired dimensions would be the dimensions of the mold, because we will design our mold in such a way so that we get our final product according to the dimensions of the mold. Now, let me draw the other part of this process. Now, I am going to draw on your screen, you can see this is the mold. Now, this is my sheet which has now adhered to or conformed to the shape of the mold. Now, this particular sheet is going to come down like this. Why it is going to come down? From where it has got the indication that it has to come down? It has got the indication to come down because the name of the process is vacuum forming. So, here we are going to apply vacuum. So, when we will apply the vacuum at this particular point, it is going to apply a force on the heated sheet. The sheet has been heated. Because of the heating element, it has softened, and the softened sheet, when we are bringing in contact with the mold and a vacuum is applied, the vacuum sucks the air out between the mold and the sheet gets attached to the shape of the mold or to the wall of the mold. So, basically what type of product we will get out from here? We can get a product of this type out of this particular mold. So, this is my final, we can say, product that has been made by this thermoforming process, and this particular variant of the process is called the vacuum forming. So on your screen you see, again I am going to revise this process, because we know that there are two important things to be taken care of. First is the heating and second is the forming. So heating is being done by the heater, that is written on your screen. So heater is heating the raw material. The raw material is available in the form of a sheet. So this particular sheet, when it gets softened, it is brought in contact with the mold and a vacuum is applied, and this vacuum applies a pressure on the softened sheet, and the sheet gets adhered to or attached to the wall of the mold, and after cooling the vacuum is withdrawn. After cooling, after withdrawing the vacuum, some amount of time is given for the cooling, and after the cooling process has taken place, the sheet is finally taking the shape of the mold, and this particular sheet is later on taken out from the mold and we get the final product, and the product is shown on your screen. So there are two important stages only, that is heating and the forming. The forming is being achieved with the help of a vacuum. So let us now try to see this with the help of the text that is available in these slides. So vacuum forming, in vacuum forming the vacuum pressure is used to form the heated thermoplastic sheet into the desired shape. Thermoplastic sheet is placed on the mold surface and fixed with the help of a clamping unit. The sheet is heated until it softens, and thereafter vacuum needs to be applied quickly. A surge tank is used to quickly pull the air out. From where the air would be taken out? The air would be taken out from the place between the mold cavity and the sheet. If you see the diagram that we have drawn, the sheet is attached to the clamping unit and we have a mold cavity. In between there is air. So this air would be sucked out by the vacuum and this sheet would be deformed according to the shape of the mold. So surge tank is used to quickly pull out the air from where? Between the mold cavity and the sheet. So when the vacuum is created, the sheet conforms to the shape of the mold cavity, and the shape of the mold cavity is the shape of the final product that we want to generate. So when the vacuum is created, the sheet will conform to the shape of the mold cavity. The formed part is cooled, which I have already told, and then it is ejected from the mold cavity and we get our final product. So let us just try to revise the basic process of vacuum forming with the help of the diagram. Although I have drawn the diagram, but here again we can see, just to have a complete representation of the process once again and try to revise what we have drawn in the diagram. Let us see now the vacuum forming process. We have the heater, that is the heating arrangement. We have these two clamps to fix the mold, fix the sheet, that is a plastic sheet. This is my plastic sheet. So this is fixed with the help of clamps. Heating arrangement is there. These two clamps and the sheet would be placed here after the sheet has softened, and finally we will apply vacuum here, and once the vacuum is applied, the sheet would conform to the shape of the mold, and finally this is the final product which has been removed from the mold after it has cooled down. So there are 2-3 stages only. Stage 1 is the heating stage, in which the plastic sheet is heated by the heaters. Stage 2, where the vacuum is drawn or the vacuum is applied and the sheet conforms to the shape of the mold cavity, and the third stage is the drawing out of the molded part from the mold. So basically the vacuum forming process is completed in 3 stages in totality. So the first stage is heating, second stage is forming, and third stage is cooling, and the final ejection of the final product from the mold cavity. So vacuum forming process is not at all, we can say, a very complicated process, but there are few things that need to be taken care of, that is how much heat has to be supplied, what amount of vacuum is required. So these are few important variables which have to be taken care of, and these variables would also be dependent upon the type and the thickness of the sheet that we want to deform. most probably there would be other criteria also which needs to be taken care of, but these are some of the important points which should be there in our mind when we are going to process any plastic sheet with the help of the vacuum forming process. So this is, we can say, a very simple representation of the vacuum forming process, in which the sheet is heated to a particular temperature where it softens and finally it is clamped to the mold. The vacuum is created, the vacuum applies a pressure on the sheet and the sheet conforms to the shape of the mold, and finally after the cooling of the product or the sheet, the final product is taken out from the mold. So this is the, we can say, basic process of vacuum forming, which falls under the category of thermoforming of plastics. Now let us come to the second process, that is the pressure forming. So basically the stages are same, that the sheet is heated to a particular temperature, it softens on heating, and this softened sheet is deformed according to the shape of the mold cavity. But the method or the mechanism of applying the pressure differs. In the vacuum forming, a vacuum is used to deform the shape of the plastic sheet or the softened plastic sheet, and in pressure forming, a pressure is applied to deform the shape of the plastic sheet. Now how this pressure is applied, that we are going to understand with the help of a diagram. So let us first have an overview of the pressure forming process. The pressure forming process is closely related to vacuum forming because the basic stages are same only. The plastic sheet is first heated, it softens on heating, and finally a pressure is applied to deform it according to the shape of the mold. Now how the pressure is applied? The air pressure required is much higher as compared to the vacuum forming. So here air pressure is applied to deform the sheet into the desired shape. The preheated plastic sheet is placed on the mold surface, which is a common step as compared to the vacuum forming process, and then air pressure is applied quickly above the sheet. So this air pressure will deform the sheet depending upon the shape of the die. Now what would be the final shape of the mold? Would be the final shape of the product. So the preheated plastic sheet is placed on the mold surface, and then air pressure is applied, and under the influence of this air pressure the sheet would deform and it would take the shape of the mold, and the shape of the mold would conform to the shape of the final product that we are going to desire, which is a desirable product that we want to produce for a specific application. Now what are the application areas of thermoforming that we would be seeing in the subsequent slides? The high pressure is developed in between the softened sheet and the pressure box. There is a box in which the high pressure is generated by the air, that we will see with the help of a diagram. Due to high pressure, the preheated plastic sheet can be deformed into the mold cavity in a fraction of a second. So we can say a large number of parts can be made because the production rates can be high, as the time required to deform the sheet under the application of air pressure is not too high. So it can be, the time required is less, and therefore large number of parts can be made if we are making the parts by the pressure forming process. So due to high pressure, the preheated plastic sheet can be deformed into the mold cavity in a fraction of a second. The formed sheet is held in the mold cavity for cooling for a few seconds. The formed part thereby solidifies and is ejected from the mold cavity. So if you see, most of the steps that are involved in processing of plastics are similar, but there are few variations here and there, and we are going to get different types of products which that can be made from different types of plastics. So here also we can see that we have a preheated sheet. This particular sheet is subjected to air pressure, and at a very high pressure this sheet is going to conform to the shape of the mold cavity. So we have a mold cavity, or we have a mold according to which we want to generate the final product. So the basic steps, that is heat, form and cool are same in this particular case also, and here also we have a preheated plastic sheet. We are forming it with the help of a pressure and we are allowing it to cool. As you can see, the form part therefore cools and is ejected into the mold, ejected out of the mold cavity. Now on your screen you can see a very simple representation of the pressure forming process. This is the pressure box. This is the, you can say, mold cavity. It is written also very clearly, mold. It is the mold cavity. This is the preheated plastic sheet, this particular light blue color. This is the preheated plastic sheet. We have the mold cavity and there are clamping arrangement. These two pressure box and the mold half would be clamped together and the air would be injected at a high pressure. So this is step number 1. We have a preheated plastic sheet. We have a clamping arrangement in which the mold would be clamped to the pressure box, and then we have the air pressure inlet. This is the air pressure. Red color indicates that air at high pressure is being subjected to the sheet, or we can say in other words the preheated plastic sheet is subjected to a very high air pressure jet. So air pressure inlet is there. This is the pressure box, it is mentioned here, and because of the pressure of the air, this preheated sheet, which has already softened because of the heating action, will deform to or will conform to the shape of the mold cavity. Now according to the shape of the mold cavity, we will get the final shape of the plastic sheet. So here we can see stage 3, in which we have got the finished part, which was initially a flat sheet and now it has been deformed into a particular type of a box with the specified dimensions. So the geometry which was earlier a flat sheet has now been made into a box by the application of heat and pressure. So we had a preheated plastic sheet which has been deformed under the application of air pressure into a box. So this is the pressure forming process, and we have already seen the vacuum forming process, and from this diagram we can try to understand the difference between the vacuum forming and the pressure forming. If we see in vacuum forming, a vacuum was used to deform the shape of the plastic sheet, and in case of pressure forming we have used the air pressure to deform the shape of the plastic sheet according to the final product, and the final product in this particular case is a box type of a product, and we can have different shapes depending upon the shape of the mold. So basically the principle is we have a preheated plastic sheet which is a soft sheet, or it has softened because of the heating action, and finally it is deformed under the application of air pressure and it conforms to the shape of the mold cavity. So this is the basic, we can say, process of pressure forming, which falls under the category of thermoforming. Now let us see the third variant of the thermoforming process, that is the matched die forming process. So we will try to understand matched die forming also with the help of a diagram, but first let us see what are the salient points in case of the matched die forming. So in matched die forming, it is also called the mechanical forming process. Mold consists of two parts, that is the die and the punch. So here the pressure would be applied with the help of a die and a punch type of a arrangement. So it is a mechanical action that is taking place between the die and the punch. The thermoplastic sheet is heated with the application of heat until it softens. This particular step is common in vacuum forming also, in pressure forming also, and in matched die forming also. So the raw material is here also, it is in the form of a plastic sheet which is heated to a particular temperature, and under the influence of temperature it softens down. So we have a softened plastic sheet. Now we want to deform this sheet according to the shape of the final product, which is our final product. So preheated sheet is placed into the die and through the punch pressure is applied on the sheet. So through punch we are going to apply the pressure on the sheet. So we have a die, the shape of the die would conform to the shape of the final product. So we have a product design, and that design we want to produce in a plastic material, and we have already taken the raw material in the form of a sheet which we have heated to a particular temperature. The sheet has softened, and this soft sheet we have placed in between the die and the punch, and the pressure on the sheet would be applied through the punch and it would be placed on top of the die. So the preheated sheet is placed into the die and through punch the pressure is applied on the sheet. Air between the die and the punch is evacuated by using the vacuum pump, and the sheet conforms to the mold shape or to the die shape. So whatever mold we have made or die we have made, the sheet will conform to the shape of the mold. So formed part is cooled and ejected from the mold. The third stage is also common. The final product is allowed to cool and finally it is ejected out of the mold or the die cavity. So basically the first and the last stage, that is the heating of the plastic sheet and the ejection after cooling of the final product, is same in all the three process variants, that is the vacuum forming, the pressure forming and the mass die forming. The only difference lies in the stage number 2, that is the method and mechanism of applying the pressure or the method and mechanism of deforming the sheet into the desired shape. In vacuum forming we are deforming by application of vacuum. In pressure forming we are deforming the sheet with the application of air pressure, and in mass die forming we are changing the shape of the soft plastic sheet with the help of a die and a punch type of arrangement. So the second stage is varying, but the first and the last stage are common in the various process variants of the thermoforming process. So here again this is a similar type of representation. Here we can see, let me first show, this is the mold or the die. So we have a mold or the die which will conform to the shape of the final product, and air between the, we can say, sheet and the mold would be escaping through this port. We have a port from where the air escape is activated or the air is allowed to escape, and then there is a clamping arrangement to clamp this particular top part, that is the core plug and the mold half. So clamping arrangement is again present here, which was also present in case of a pressure box and the mold, which was seen in pressure forming. So we have a preheated plastic sheet, again this light blue color, this arrow indicates this light blue color sheet is the preheated plastic sheet. So here the pressure is applied on the core plug, which we can say it can be a punch also. So we have a mold, we have a punch, the shape of the punch is conforming to the final shape that we want to generate, and we have a die cavity which is conforming to the shape of the final product. So this is the molded part which is shown here. This is my molded part. You can just see the arrow, the movement of the arrow on your screen. So this is the final shape that would be achieved after the process is complete and the sheet is allowed to cool inside this mold cavity. So we have a preheated plastic sheet, we have a core plug, we have a mold, and there is a, we can say, port which is provided for the escape of the air, and finally we will get the finished part. So basically we can see again three stages are there: preheated plastic sheet, stage number 1, application of pressure by the punch and the die type of arrangement, stage number 2, heating, forming and cooling inside the mold, and finally the product or ejection of the product from the mold, and this is a usable product which has been made by the matched die forming process. So if you see, the stages are common, only the method and mechanism of applying the pressure is different in the three variants that we have considered, that is the vacuum forming, the pressure forming and the matched die forming. Now, what are the materials that can be used? Different types of materials can be used for thermoforming process. So, different type of thermoplastic which can be processed using the thermoforming process are acrylic, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, that is ABS, cellulose acetate, we can have low density polyethylene LDPE, polystyrene PS, polyvinyl chloride PVC. So, different types of plastics can be processed. Now, what can be the advantages of the thermoforming process? You can see on your screen, first important advantage is the design flexibility. So, we can get different types of designs by modifying the shape of the mold, and we can have different thicknesses, and we can have different types of materials which can be used. As in the previous slide we have seen what are the different types of materials that can be thermoformed. So, there is a wide variety of materials, there are wide variety of shapes, there can be thickness also that can be varied, even we can say that different designs can be incorporated into the mold. So, different types of products can be made by the thermoforming process. Also, the process has got various variants, that is the vacuum forming, the pressure forming and the matched die forming, and depending upon the requirements of a particular design we can choose the process. So, therefore, it is a versatile process and we have a fair degree of design flexibility which is available with the thermoforming process. Rapid prototype development is another advantage because the process is fast and very easily we can generate the prototypes, specifically in this particular case, that is the thermoforming case. The setup costs are also not very high because here we have only two infrastructural requirements, that is we need to have a heating mechanism which can heat the plastic sheet so that the sheet can be softened, and the second infrastructural requirement, or we can say one of the important inputs, is the pressure, the mechanism of applying the pressure. So, we need to have a mechanism of heating and we need to have a mechanism of applying pressure. So, applying pressure, we have seen three different types. The pressure can be applied on the sheet. Three different mechanisms are the vacuum, the air pressure or the mechanical action of the punch and the die. So, initial costs are low. Why? Because heating and application of pressure can be done at a fairly reasonable cost. So, the production costs are low because the setup costs are also low. Thermal stresses are less in this particular case, and finally, the dimensional stability of the final product that we get is considerably good. So, there are, we can say, a lot of advantages which are possible with the thermoforming process, and this particular process is particularly suitable for a specific type of applications that we would be focusing on in our subsequent slides. So, let us see that what are the limitations, because this process has got a lot of advantages, but there are certain limitations also which are there in this particular process. Now, what are the disadvantages? On your screen we can see it has got poor surface finish. Sometimes the finish that we get is not according to the desirable finish that is designed into the product. Now, the product has been designed for a specific surface finish, but because of the process details or process variations, sometimes we are not able to get the desirable surface finish. Because you can see the way the pressure is being applied, sometimes the uniform pressure may not be applied and the finish that we get may not be that good. So, parts may have non-uniform wall thickness, that is also one of the defects or one of the limitations of the process, and this is also because of the method of applying the pressure. So, when we are applying the pressure, sometimes we may not be able to deform the sheet uniformly and we may get extra thickness in a particular section, and in some other particular section at a distance we may not get the uniform thickness. So, the surface finish is one limitation. The other limitation is that non-uniform thickness of the parts or the non-uniform wall thickness in the parts. all parts needs to be trimmed, because we are using the clamping force, and when we have clamped the parts, clamped the sheet, and then we are deforming it, we need to trim that clamped portion. So all parts need to be trimmed. So additional we can say stage or step is added in the product processing cycle or the product development cycle, where a final trimming action is required in on all the parts that are produced by the thermoforming process. Yes, certain advancements and some process variants can be designed where this action can be, or this particular process of trimming can be nullified or can be minimized. Ribs and bosses cannot be molded easily, because we have already seen that one of the important limitation is the non-uniform wall thickness, and on top of that, if we have some ribs and bosses in the product design, there the problem of uniformity may further be aggravated. So even in a simple sheet, sometimes we are not able to deform it uniformly, and we do not get a uniform thickness throughout the cross section of the sheet or throughout the length of the sheet when we are deforming it into a different design. So this fourth point is very important, in which the ribs and bosses cannot be molded easily. As I have been discussing again and again, that part number 2, in which we have seen that parts may have non-uniform wall thickness. So if we have a plastic sheet and we are deforming it according to the shape of the mold, the thickness that we are going to get may not be uniform. So the non-uniform wall thickness is one of the issues. Why? Because in the first two processes, if you see the vacuum forming and the pressure forming, we are not having a control on both the sides of the product. In case of matched die forming, if you see, we have control on both sides. On one side we have the die and on other side we have the punch. So we have control on both the sides, so we can expect that we may get a uniform wall thickness. But in case of other process variants, there is a tendency that we may not get a uniform wall thickness of the final product. So on top of that, if we add these ribs and bosses into the product design, we may further aggravate our problem. So the ribs and bosses cannot be molded easily using the thermoforming process. So there are other processes. We cannot say that ribs and bosses cannot be made in plastic products. There are other processes which are suitable for making this type of product designs. But yes, with thermoforming we have to exercise caution if the product design necessitates ribs and bosses. Then we can see limited materials can be used. All types of plastic materials cannot be thermoformed because of certain process constraints, because we have to heat it, it should soften on heating, and it should have the tendency, the material should have the tendency to be deformed into the desired shape without actually fracturing. So we have to choose the material which can only be thermoformed, because all materials will not have those characteristics of being formed, because here if you see two important stages are heating and forming. So if a material is heated and when you apply pressure, it may fracture or it may get damaged. So those types of materials cannot be deformed easily. So summary is that thermoforming is not suitable for all types of materials, and when we are choosing a thermoforming process for making a particular product, we should be very cautious about the selection of the raw material, and we should choose the raw material with a very intelligent mind, and we should know that yes, this particular material can be heated. On heating, this material will soften, and on softening, if we apply pressure either by vacuum or by air pressure or by with the help of a punch, this particular material can be deformed into the desired shape. So that is important, and we should always keep in mind that not all materials can be thermoformed, and blind application of thermoforming on all types of plastic materials may sometimes lead to devastating or failure results. So Another important limitation is that very thick plastic sheets cannot be formed. So, very thick plastic sheet, why these cannot be formed? Because we are applying the pressure with the help of air or with the help of vacuum. So, very thick sheets cannot be deformed because lot of pressure would be required if the thickness of the sheet would increase or the thickness of the sheet would be very high. So, thin sheets can be deformed easily by the thermoforming process, but if the thickness of the sheet is high, then we may have to go for some other process rather than going for thermoforming process. So, thickness of the sheet is also a limitation. So, let us now just summarize that what are the various limitations of the thermoforming process. So, the surface finish that we get of the final product may be poor in some of the cases. Parts may not have uniform wall thickness or the parts may have non-uniform wall thickness. All parts need to be trimmed because of the clamping arrangement which is provided for holding the plastic sheet. So, the trimming action becomes a important part or it becomes imperative. Ribs and bosses sometimes are difficult to incorporate if the product has to be made by the thermoforming process. All types of materials cannot be blindly thermoformed and a proper selection of the raw material is important if it has to be formed by thermoforming process. And finally, the thickness of sheets is also a limitation, and if the thickness is high, it cannot be thermoformed easily. So, lot of advantages of the process are there, but there are few limitations also. But apart from these limitations, thermoforming is widely used to convert plastic sheets into usable products. And now we will focus our attention on the certain application areas of thermoforming where the plastic sheets are thermoformed into usable products. So, we will try to see that what are the important types of products that can be made by the thermoforming process. Now, let us see the applications. Thermoforming process has many applications. For example, it can be used for making food packaging sheets. Automotive parts can be made by thermoforming process. Trays, building products and aircraft windscreens etc. are some of the application areas of thermoforming where the plastic sheet of different types of plastics depending upon the final requirement is deformed to get the desired product. Thick gauge parts are used as cosmetic surfaces on permanent structures such as kiosks, trucks, medical equipment, material handling equipment, electrical and electronic equipment, spas and shower enclosures, vehicle door and dash panels, refrigerator liners, utility vehicle beds and plastic pallets. So, different sheets can be made, and even if it is on the thicker side, because we have already seen in the previous slide, very thick sheets cannot be thermoformed, but a relatively thick sheet as compared to thin sheets. Thin sheets application are given on the in the first point we have seen in food packaging and automotive parts or trays, and in thick, if the thickness is slightly larger, then these particular plastic sheets can be used for so many different applications, like these can be used as cosmetic surfaces. Cosmetic surfaces means the surface which is visible or which is used for giving the finishing. So, cosmetic surfaces can be used like on kiosks or trucks, and it can be used for material handling equipment or sometimes on vehicle doors and dash panels. So, large number of applications are there for the products which have been made by the thermoforming process. Other application are, if the thickness is slightly more, we have seen what are the application. If the thickness is slightly less, that is thin gauge parts can be used to package or contain a food item, disposable cups or containers, or sometimes the lids can be made by the thermoforming process. So, basically depending upon the thickness of the final product that is made by the thermoforming process, we can divide the applications also into thick gauge parts or thin gauge parts. So if the thickness is on the higher side, we will have applications which have been listed in the previous slide, and the thickness is relatively less, we can use it for food packaging items and lids of containers, etc. So with this we come to the end of our discussion on thermoforming, and if you remember, in today's lecture we have focused on the various process variants of thermoforming. We have seen, as the word suggests, thermo and forming, basically two important stages are there, that is heating and deforming. The plastic sheet, which is the raw material in case of thermoforming, is heated, and on heating it softens, and this softened sheet is then deformed under pressure. The pressure may be applied using a vacuum or air pressure, or in case of matched die forming, we can use the punch and die type of arrangement to apply pressure on this softened sheet. And when the pressure is applied, the softened sheet would conform to the shape of the mold or the die, and it would take the shape of the mold. The shape of the mold is according to the shape of the final product that we want to generate by the thermoforming process. So we have seen that what are the important advantages of the thermoforming process, and we have also covered the limitation areas of the thermoforming process. And finally we have seen that in spite of having certain limitations, thermoforming process is widely used for processing of plastics, and we have seen many application areas of the parts which are made by the thermoforming process. So with this we finish lecture number 6 in our module 4, that is processing of plastics, and finally we are left with one lecture in which we would be covering other important processes like the blow molding and rotational molding. And towards the end of the next lecture we would certainly focus on the secondary processing, because once the plastic part has been manufactured using any of the processes. Now some of the processes which we have already covered, again I am going to revise. We have already seen casting, extrusion, transfer molding, compression molding, injection molding, and today's class we have seen thermoforming, and in next class we will be discussing blow molding, and we would be covering rotational molding. So many processes are there. There are other processes which are also used for processing of plastic, which have not been covered in this series of lectures on processing of plastic. There is a wide variety of processes which are used for processing of plastics, but the parts that we make are usually to a near net shape. Near net shape means that we get the final product that we want to use, but in certain cases these products have to be assembled with some other metallic products, or sometimes these plastic products may have to be assembled with wood or with some other type of a plastic. So for those assembly operations, sometimes we may require to make holes inside the plastics, or sometimes we may require to machine the plastic so that we are able to fit the different parts together. So in the end of this particular module, that is in the end of our next class, we would focus on some basic aspects of the secondary processing of plastics. So with this introduction to our next class, we come to the end of today's discussion on thermoforming. Thank you.